Hi everyone, my name is Esther Howe. I'm a clinical psychology PhD student at UC Berkeley. Today I'm going to be presenting work that I did with Jina at Microsoft Research entitled Design of Digital Workplace Stress Reduction Intervention Systems, Effects of Intervention Type and Delivery Timing. Stress is prevalent and costly. Over 70% of Americans report stress from work in 2020. Loss of productivity costs $300 billion a year in the US alone, and stress spills over into life outside of work. While traditional evidence-based stress reduction interventions like talk therapy are effective, they're also typically high cost in terms of time and financial investments. It's also difficult to put into practice skills that are learned in therapy, like taking breaks, practicing stress reduction exercises throughout the day, especially while at work, due to unsafe work cultures, high work demands, or the inability to take time away from tasks throughout the day. Existing technology-delivered interventions try to make it easier to practice stress reduction skills throughout the day, but they struggle to keep users engaged, are not integrated into the workplace, and don't account for users' internal state or external context. So this is where digital micro-interventions come into play. These are brief, under 5-minute interventions that can be directly integrated into the workplace and can be paired with a just-in-time or system-initiated delivery timing. In the best-case scenario, just-in-time systems are efficient and push users to do the best intervention possible at the best time for the right amount of time. However, prior work has not established optimal balance between just-in-time and user-controlled intervention timing, or between different types of intervention content. So given this background, we designed and conducted a study to identify design opportunities for workplace stress reduction intervention systems. We had 3 primary research questions. The first was how does intervention delivery timing impact intervention usage, stress reduction, and user preference? The second was how do different types of interventions impact intervention usage, stress reduction, and user preferences? And the third was what aspects of the intervention timing and content do participants find most useful or needed? To address our research questions, we designed a study with 2 conditions and a catalog of digital microinterventions. Participants in Condition 1, or the pre-scheduled condition, browsed our intervention catalog on Fridays and scheduled bot-led interventions for the coming week. Participants in Condition 2, the just-in-time condition, were automatically provided with bot-led interventions when user stress levels were high according to our system, which we'll describe in a moment. Participants in both conditions had access to the same catalog of interventions. These interventions were translations of evidence-based stress reduction strategies. The first category was entitled Get My Mind Off Work. These were low-effort, pleasant, non-work distractions. The second was Feel Calm and Present. These were medium-effort mindfulness and grounding exercises. The third was Address My Stress. These were high-effort stress management and problem-solving activities. Interventions in all 3 categories were delivered either via video content, single-turn text prompt, or therapeutic conversation with the bot. So to run our study, we designed a system with 2 components, a just-in-time component and a chatbot component. The just-in-time component delivered interventions to participants in the just-in-time condition when high stress was detected based on heuristics built on the stress score. The stress score inferred an individual's stress level based on passively sensed data from computer activity and participant physiology, as well as self-reported stress. Additional details about the stress score are in our paper. Secondly, the chatbot component lived in teams and proactively engaged with the user to deliver reminders and intervention content. The study was conducted over the course of 4 weeks with 86 information workers as participants, 43 in each condition. Our main outcome measure of stress was assessed at multiple time points. It was assessed baseline and weekly using the Depression, Anxiety, and Stress Scale stress subscale. And then 4 to 5 times a day, it was assessed using a single stress item that ranged from 1, not at all stressed, to 5, extremely stressed. We also collected pre- and post-intervention stress using the same stress item used in the daily surveys, as well as intervention usage and post-usage ratings. Participant stress levels were overall low at baseline and remained steady throughout the study. So in this talk, we'll be focusing on the impact of intervention use on momentary stress. Participants performed 3 to 4 interventions per week. The average was 13.7 interventions over the 4-week study. Interventions significantly reduced momentary stress levels. The average was 0.3 across conditions, and the more stress participants were experiencing right before completing an intervention, the greater the stress reduction effect of the intervention. Interventions were generally rated positively. The average was 3.65, which was between acceptable and good. In our quantitative analyses, we found no difference in momentary stress reduction between participants in the pre-scheduled versus just-in-time conditions. We did find that participants in the just-in-time group completed significantly more interventions, but this was likely due to study design. Just-in-time participants also reported higher ease of use for the overall system. In our qualitative end-of-study survey, pre-scheduled participants reported they liked the accountability of calendar events, but that automatic nudging based on stress levels would be desirable. They also shared some of their heuristics for selecting intervention timing, such as scheduling interventions at the beginning or end of the day, spaced throughout the week, or after stressful meetings. Just-in-time participants also had positive things to say about the system they tried. They thought nudges were good reminders to take time away from work, especially when they were stressed. However, they did report that the frequency of nudges was too high and at times disruptive of focus. Regarding intervention type, according to pre- and post-intervention stress scores, medium-effort interventions were the least effective, and low- and high-effort interventions were equally effective. Interestingly, low- and medium-effort interventions were perceived as the most effective. Although low- and high-effort interventions were equally effective, low-effort interventions received higher ratings. Across the board, user preferences were polarizing. Many participants had opposite preferences. Overall, our main findings point to 4 primary design considerations for future stress reduction intervention systems. First, participants liked our system because it was simple and easy to use, and it reduced momentary stress. Accordingly, we recommend digital micro-interventions be integrated into the workplace. Secondly, most participants preferred automation because of convenience, but they still wanted access to on-demand pre-scheduling and full system snooze. This indicates that future intervention systems should offer a wide range of automated and user-agentic options for engagement. Next, given the discrepancy between which interventions were most effective and which were highest rated, as well as a wide range of participant preferences and overall desire for novelty, we recommend intervention systems promote self-experimentation and discovery. Finally, participants wanted to receive the right intervention at the right time and a wide variety of interventions. Accordingly, we recommend this is achieved by enabling ongoing participant feedback in addition to passive sensing of context to enable the system to learn what is most effective for each individual participant across time. In conclusion, we compared the effects of pre-scheduled and just-in-time interventions and found both to be effective at reducing stress and that the just-in-time nudges were highly sought after. We found micro-interventions to be highly effective in reducing momentary stress. Both system-initiated and user-initiated interventions are promising ways to integrate interventions at work. And we presented design considerations for workplace stress reduction intervention systems. For more information about our study and findings, please see our paper. Thank you so much.